Hey guys, what's going on? It's Eli, back with another review video. That's right, the last one for the Star Wars Review Marathon. Episode 8, The Last Jedi. Oh boy, what do I have to say about The Last Jedi? It just, because literally when The Last Jedi came out, everybody was it was heavily mixed, I'll tell you that. Rian Johnson, God, that stuff. Well, in my opinion, Little Blue would be saying the same thing too. Like, we both enjoy it. We think it's actually pretty good. We're one of those few people that actually like it. And, because, like, with its plot twists and stuff like that, you name it, the opening sequence is really cool. And, like, Poe Dameron, the only X-Wing pilot out there, the resistance ships with the bombs and such, and, we get more of Snoke and the performance of Andy Serkis. I like how, because in The Force Awakens and in this film, Snoke is basically a father to Hux and Kylo, and they're like his children, and they act like they're brothers, you know what I'm saying? It's pretty funny and pretty clever. Makes sense, and like, say, with, the last appearance, performance of Carrie Fisher as Leia, yes, and I almost forgot to mention, The Force Awakens was the last time that Peter Mayhew would play Chewbacca. Yeah. And of course, and because, I forgot to mention that, and of course with this, being Carrie Fisher's final performance. And it wasn't until, like, with The Rise of Skywalker, they used deleted scenes, like deleted footage from The Force Awakens, with Leia and that. And I think they actually work, so, and so, I'm trying to remember, yeah, and, like, some of its characters, like, okay, like, with Luke, for example, I remember Little Blue told me that when Mark Hamill read the script and the part of Luke, his jaw literally dropped, like, to the floor or something. He couldn't believe what he was seeing of of how they written Luke, you know what I'm saying? But I think it kind of works because one thing that's I think pretty established is, hey, even in and since me and Lil Blue, we reviewed The Rise of Skywalker, I can go ahead and talk some of this stuff, Luke totally just wanted nothing to do with, like, say, the Jedi, anything like that, because, hey, the fear got to him, and as Yoda said in The Phantom Menace, fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, hate leads to suffering. You see what I mean? And, throughout that, like, because with Rey and Luke, pretty good, and with Chewie and R2, and I saved it for this, with R2 being with Chewbacca and Rey, and with Luke, because, hey, that was Rian Johnson's idea, because originally BB-8 was supposed to go with Rey and Chewie, but why? Like, R2 was very close with Luke, and because of that scene where, R2 and Luke, they're reunited, they're on the Millennium Falcon, and R2 plays the hologram message of Leia. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope. Just, you see what I mean? Just, yeah, and I like that. I find that scene that's pretty funny, where Luke says to R2, and watch the language. And yeah, I also like that part because Luke training Rey, and, like, Luke has, like, a piece of grass or just something, like, kind of having Rey feel it and such, and, like, kind of slaps it on her, like, ow! Just, that was pretty funny. And the Porgs. The Porgs, that was exploding for a little while, the Porgs. That's the best impression I could do. They were exploding. When that film came out, the Porgs were, like, just everywhere. Everybody was talking about them, that they were exploding, you know what I'm saying? Merchandise, you name it. And also, because, remember that, that scene, even Little Blue, I don't know, like, Little Blue finds it a bit weird, where that creature on that planet, Luke is, like, milking it or something, in a bottle, getting it in his bottle. It's like Star Wars version of milking a cow. That's all I can say, and it makes sense. But the creatures, they did look pretty cool, water squirting out of their nose or something, And also, cutting back to, like, say, with the Resistance, Poe, Finn, and introducing Rose, played by beautiful, talented actress Kelly Mary Train, if I'm saying the last two words right, but, I think Rose is pretty good. It turns out because her sister was killed, like, sacrificed herself to detonate the bombs, that kind of stuff, to destroy to destroy a First Order ship. And I'm trying to remember. Yeah, and Little Blue, I know Little Blue would be saying this, would say this about, Rose's theme. It kind of kept playing a couple of times, too much, but okay, the first time we see Rose and her theme is playing, that makes sense, maybe I really didn't pay attention to her theme, like, when it was playing. I just didn't, But, also, Benicio Del Toro as the, what was the part again? Codebreaker? Yeah, Codebreaker. He was pretty good, and Benicio Del Toro in Star Wars. Hey, he's perfect in being part of the Star Wars franchise. Also, because that planet that they're on, that's like a Star Wars version of a casino. Yeah, and I like the music that plays, during those scenes. Pretty good. And Mark Hamill does have another role in this. He voices one of those aliens on that planet. The one alien who's drunk and mistakens BB-8 for, putting coins in, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, pretty funny. And hey, Mark Hamill, he's good at he's a voice actor too, so it makes sense for him to voice a character. And here's another thing, cameos. Some celebrities who have cameos in the sequel films. Joseph Gordon, is that him? Who was Robin in The Dark Knight Rises. He has a cameo in this as one of the aliens. But I hope I'm getting his name right. Joseph Gordon. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's him. Also, because there were a few cameos that actually didn't make it into the film. When Rose and Finn, they're on the First Order, the main First Order ship, the big First Order ship, and Snoke's ship. Tom Hardy had a cameo as a stormtrooper because, he recognized Finn and called him FN2187. And even, Williams and Harry, Prince William and his brother Harry, they had cameos in this too, as stormtroopers. That was really cool, even because, you remember, because they even attended the red carpet premiere of The Last Jedi. So that's really cool. Members of the royal family in Star Wars. That's awesome. Even, at the red carpet premiere, I remember, because even, you look at BB-8, he approached them, and, he bowed to them. That was pretty cool. Hey, makes sense, you bow to them. Bow to the royal family, so. I'm trying to remember what else. Okay, so those are all the cameos that we have in that, ones that made it in and ones that were deleted. Also, Yoda's appearance. That was great, too, seeing good old Yoda, and seeing him as a puppet, and Frank Oz performing him. And I remember, because Frank Oz said in the behind the scenes, he thought that he just had to voice him, and, he'd be CG. But no, puppeteer, and stuff like that. And you look up the behind the scenes footage, Mark Hamill was, tearing up or just something, touched, because to be, hearing Yoda's voice, that kind of stuff, and Frank Oz and Mark Hamill reunited, and, Frank Oz saying to Mark, "You look gorgeous," because of the hair, and Mark jokingly saying, "I always wanted to do this," Yeah, and the sequence with Yoda and Luke, that was pretty good. And I like, because the dialogue that Yoda has, and, getting to Luke, Luke about the Jedi texts, and Yoda's like, "Ooh, let them have you," and Luke's like, "Well, and Yoda's saying, "Lost Ben Solo we did, but the girl Rey, we must not lose," whatever he says. And, yeah, another thing is that, with Snoke, because Snoke and Rey meet in person, and, because Snoke has the lightsaber, Luke's lightsaber in his hands, and the lightsaber was Luke's father's before him, and, yeah, that's another thing, because even Maz, she had the lightsaber, you get the idea. And that interesting, shocking twist, Kylo kills Snoke with the lightsaber, cuts and, goes through him, his chest, and, he ignites his weapon and kills his true enemy, whatever he says, it just, yeah. And the fight between, Snoke's guards and with Rey and Kylo, pretty epic. And, Kylo encouraging Rey to join him and such, and then, holding the lightsaber, trying to grab it, or just, you know what I'm saying? And, actually, because, okay, the one general in this film, played by Laura... Is it Laura Dern? Well, what's her face from the Jurassic Park films, I thought she was okay. mean, this actress is good. She's a great actress. And her being in the Star Wars franchise is not bad. And with Admiral Akbar being killed, yeah, that was a bit of a bummer. Even Tom Kane, who had at times had voiced Akbar, came forward and just expressed his feelings on that at Star Wars Celebration. The elders have spoken. I feel as though maybe it was for the best, because hey, the original voice of Akbar had passed away. Because I think, yeah, what's his face, who had voiced Akbar in the films, he was definitely the voice of Akbar. There's no denying that. And the whole thing with that scene where the ship gets blown up and Leia too, and with Akbar and Leia, that pose, oh boy, I know Lil Blue would be talking about that too, but, well, she's using the Force trying to reach the door. What else would she use? Her foot? No, you use your hands. Give me a break, And because she was in space, give me a break. Just, come on, bear with me. Bear with it, just, And, I'm trying to remember, yeah, and that epic scene where, because the general, she's the only one on board the Resistance ship, and flies it sends it into hyperspace, slicing half of Snoke's ship, and the audio just goes silent. That is epic, You don't, because, hey, it's in space, there's no sound in space, and it was for that moment, Pretty epic, and part of that ship is blown up, and right as it's going into hyperspace, it's right before it goes into hyperspace, slicing it in half, few things are happening. Them trying to grab the lightsaber, Kylo and Rey, and Finn and Rose about to be executed, And with Captain Phasma. I forgot to mention Captain Phasma. Captain Phasma was a pretty cool character, too. And that fight sequence between Phasma and Finn was pretty cool, too. And one part where Phasma's helmet does get damaged and we see her eye. That's really cool. We don't even see her face, we see her eye. And Phasma being killed, yeah, I mean, that was unexpected, but, I guess it kind of fitted. And, I think, yeah, BB-8, what the heck? BB-8, he, controls a walker to destroy to kill the stormtroopers. And, Finn and Rose, they escape the ship, what's left of the First Order ship. And now, Kylo Ren's now the supreme leader, and they're on that snowy planet, and, the whole sequence with those, walkers who are walking like gorillas. That's really cool. It's obvious. And Luke coming in, that was epic too. But it turns out he's not actually there. He's just it's just an image of him that he's creating. He's using up the Force, a lot of the Force, And it really shows, because it's obvious. Luke became the most powerful Jedi in the galaxy. Isn't it obvious? And he helps distract Kylo in the First Order, so the what's left of the Resistance can escape, Rey's reunited with them, that kind of stuff, and just, yeah, pretty epic. And I read this, that Mark Hamill, he can't watch that scene where Luke reunites with Leia and talks with her. I can see why, because, the passing of Carrie Fisher. But all ends well. Luke's sad because he sacrifices himself, he dies, and, Kylo Ren has been fooled again, and all ends well. Poe and Rey finally meet, I'm Poe, and, she says, I'm Rey, and he goes, I know. Well, he knows who she is, so. Is it me, or, because there would have been, a love connection between Poe and Rey. I know me and Lil Blue had talked about that before, and we still would if he had joined me for this. And if there was a love connection between Poe and Rey, hey, I wouldn't care. They'd be a perfect couple, so But yeah, and the ending to it, because a bunch of kids who were on that planet that was casino themed, and that they helped Finn and Rose, and that sequence where Finn and Rose are on those those giant steed creatures, that was a pretty cool sequence too. The chase, And, one of the kids, telling a story to the other kids of Luke Skywalker and such. And it turns out, when this one creature tells them to get back to what they're doing, work and such, one kid grabs a broomstick, uses the Force. That kid has a bit of the Force to him, would become a Jedi, And the last shot of him looking outside of the star field and, with the broom in his hand, and boom, the movie ends, the credits roll, and this was very touching. Of course, it made sense, of course, had been there. In loving memory of our princess, Carrie Fisher. Yep, and bit of her theme is played on, a bit of Princess Leia's theme is played on a piano as those words show up. Very touching, The Last Jedi, I've got to say, I don't think it's that bad, Sure, I know, because it was heavily mixed, some people like it, some people don't. But again, as I said, me and Little Blue, we're one of those few people that actually do like it. We thought it was pretty good. Just like, I guess, what we thought of this prequel trilogy. You know what I'm saying? Just, I give this, how do I rate this? It's a bit toughy. I can't, let me see. I would say probably, this is very, 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 very tough. This is very hard for me to choose. I would say probably, I would give this 9 out of 10 stars, I guess. That's about good for me. 9 out of 10 stars. 9 out of 10 stars for The Last Jedi. I thought it was pretty good. And as for you guys, you guys let me know what you think of The Last Jedi. Leave comments as always, and, what you thought of what I said. So, with that being said, again, 9 out of 10 stars for The Last Jedi. I hope you guys enjoyed my review of The Last Jedi. More reviews coming your way. They're going to be awesome. Keep looking forward. And with that being said, the Star Wars review marathon has come to a close. It's been fun reviewing all the Star Wars films, finally, from episodes 1 to 8. And as I said, me and Little Blue, we had reviewed episode 9. If you want to go see that, go check it out. That was over a year ago, so which was 1 hour long. But I think it was worth it. Hey, just like with the other Star Wars reviews, because really, because they're Star Wars. What can you say? It's Star Wars, so just doesn't matter. It's been really fun finally reviewing the Star Wars films, and yeah, and don't worry. As for the rest of the Star Wars films and shows, I will definitely be reviewing those too, with Little Blue and maybe 1 or 2 guest stars, who knows. And you might be wondering, what's coming up next, now that the Star Wars review marathon has come to an end? Well, for next week's reviews, as you know, they're on Tuesdays and Thursdays. For the first reviews of next week, well, let's just say 2 movies that have to do with the Land of Oz. Stay tuned for those. Take care, guys. Peace out, and may the Force be with you.